Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. Okay, so I'm looking at the Death card and I'm looking at Eight of Pentacles. This is interesting. There may be like an unexpected turn that something is taking here. But I get the vibe, like to have... Okay, so the way that it landed... Eight of Pentacles was there and the Death card just landed on top of it. Eight of Pentacles can be a feeling of like I'm nearly there. You see how this is like the last piece of something? I've been working on something. I'm nearly there. Like I'm very close to completing something, but not quite complete. And then having the Death card come through and be laying over top of that, you can feel like something ended early or like prematurely. But not in a way where this is part of the evolution of things. So don't look at this and be thinking that this was a mistake. This actually things happening right on time. The only reason why you would feel like this wasn't done yet is because like in your head you had this picture of like something was meant to last longer, was going to, or like it normally does or whatever. Having the Death card come over here, it feels like there's a very big shift, a very big change, a very big, like, it's time for this to turn into something else moment that's happening here. Seeing something about mountains. Okay. Three of Pentacles, looks like you are entering into a situation where there's another party at least involved. I'm seeing Eight of Swords, I'm seeing the Star. Okay, so we have Scorpio here, we have Aquarius here as well. Having Eight of Swords and having the Star looks like there's something that's being healed that can be connected with like hesitance, anxiety, something where you were feeling like you couldn't do something. Now you may be in a spot where you're like, this is happening. And I'm seeing the Ace of Cups be here. So you go from Eight of Swords, which can even be feeling like mentally overwhelmed, or you can be feeling stuck or like not know how to move forward, or you can feel like a bit frozen. And then Ace of Cups with the Star in the middle, this is you basically like thawing out and feeling something, you're connecting with something. And it looks like part of this is an aspect of a collaboration that now you are a part of. So it seems like this, whatever this is that's happening here, where there's like a joining of forces, it seems. It's a joining of forces together working on the same thing with the Three of Pentacles. See how this is like a sense of... See in the card how it's like there's this piece, there's this piece, there's this piece, but it's all part of a single whole. That's what I'm seeing is going on here. So it feels like you may have been doing something independently and could have been working on something. Because the Death card is coming around, it's like, for now, we're not going to touch that. For now, we're not going to be doing that because this is what's going to be focused on now. So there can be like a really big switch. And usually having the Death card, it's like you're not going to be going back down that path. In a way of, you're not going to go back to doing that same thing. Something has changed now, something is different now. It does feel like something is being... The Star also has like healing powers too. So... You see how this person, it almost looks like there's kind of a star around their throat chakra? Kind of similar to like the image here. It feels like you're going somewhere where there's going to be like a release of the throat chakra. That's what you're working on. And there's like a connection. You're connecting with something that's involved with this. When I say a connection, Of course, this can be somebody that you're connecting with. However, this is more than anything like you connecting with yourself. And so this means that in you liberating your throat chakra, there's something that's very connected with your dharmic path, which is part of like your nature and organically like what you feel like is, yeah, just like organically part of the way that you work, what you're naturally interested in, what you have an affinity for, or interested in enough to sort of like expand and learn in that direction. And this can be like special skills that you're connecting with too. I see Ace of Cups as being sort of these things that are already within us, but not always woken up, and it seems like you are waking something up now, and I'm getting it be very connected with the throat chakra. So this can be anything that has to do with the throat chakra, can do with like anything that, let's think about it. We got Libra, we got Gemini, and we got Aquarius connected with the air energy. You think about anything that has to do with communication, messaging, writing, anything where it's like sharing something, like having something be expressed, can be like music, poetry. It can be you using your voice for something that feels important for you. There can be something that has to do with like socializing or connecting or networking, or like passing something around or bringing people together, like all of these different energies that can be connected through this. So it feels like there's something like rising within you now at this point, and it feels like there may be a connection that you're making along the way. But it does seem that you had to surrender something, whatever this Eight of Pentacles was that you were doing. And that could have been something that you were comfortable with, something that you were familiar with, but something that death is like, if you surrender this, you'll be able to sort of transform into your next like form, or like you'll get to the next level of this, of your evolution. You'll get to go to the next cycle, like that type of thing. So you could have potentially, because I feel like with the death card, because I'm not seeing the tower here. If the tower were here, it would be like you don't really have a choice. You just kind of get pushed through. The way that I'm seeing this, it looks like you did have a choice of like, you could do this and take this on, or you could have been like, nah, I'm going to keep working on what I'm working on. And there's nothing wrong with that too. If that's what one decided, like, there's no path that's the wrong path for you. All of them are just the path. Like, right and wrong isn't part of this. It's just like aspects of the journey in ways that you're getting to where you're going. So it's just like really a matter of preference for the most part, if that's sort of how you're making decisions by. You could have felt like what you were working on, you were contained within that. Like whatever this thing is, that there's like a surrendering to the process of. You could have also felt like you did enough and it was okay that not everything was exactly how you thought it was supposed to be. Because again, this has to do with like models in your head of, this is what I envision for the process, and it's like you got to like out of 10 steps you got to like 8 or 9 steps, and then it sort of was at that point where it's like, do you want to surrender this? And it feels like at that point that's when a shift happened, when you were ready to sort of indulge in that. I'm not seeing you be alone here with Three of Pentacles. There are energies that you're working with. Other energies that you're working with. There can still be a little bit of anxiety. This can be something that you're doing that, like, you know that you're in the right place and you know that you're connecting with yourself, but there can also still be this Eight of Swords here that can be, I see Eight of Swords as feeling like out of a flow state, and even though you're just a step away from it, like very close to being within that, you can feel sort of like stuck or blocked, like those types of things, or you can feel like rigid, or you can feel frozen in some way. That's how I see the Eight of Swords, like rather than just like moving through things and like naturally the course of stuff. Eight of Swords can almost be like, it feels robotic, or I feel like I'm overthinking everything that I'm doing, or this feels unnatural to me for some reason. It can be like that type of thing, like feeling out of flow. However, I'm seeing that you feeling like in flow with this is part of this like release of the throat chakra that is happening. So you may be working with somebody that's also part of this process for you, and you're going to feel more connected than you did before, and it feels like it's lighting something up internally for you. Whereas Eight of Pentacles can be something that's like you marching forward with something that can feel like habitual in some way. It can feel like productive or effective, but it can almost feel like going into something and doing like some repetitive like type of work or something like that, participating in something repetitive. And although again, like Eight of Pentacles can feel very safe, like I know what I'm doing, I'm familiar with this, I don't really have to question things. At the same time, this thing over here that it seems like you're opening up to because you deemed yourself like ready for this, open to this, it may be a little bit more, it feels like it's more challenging for some reason, but that's also where the growth is too. And I'm also seeing you unlock something as well that was feeling like you were sort of like closed off from it before. It's like a channel, it seems, that wasn't open, that now you are accessing. As much as with this Eight of Pentacles, you could have felt like things were very predictable and there was a sense of things feeling comfortable within that, you could have also felt like, but I feel like something is missing, or I'm still feeling like a bit disconnected. I'm not seeing this necessarily be like a whole thing, and I'm not necessarily seeing this be like, I feel like there's a huge disconnection in my life, or like a huge dissatisfaction. It feels like it was something minute. However, it's like also something that at this point when you connect with it, it feels significant and it feels powerful. But I'm not seeing where you were before with things. You could have stayed within that, but it could have felt like it lacked it could have just felt like there was something that wasn't plugged in part of the process, and you could have been seeking, but you knew that you had to like surrender something in order to open yourself up to this. So it was a choice. I'm seeing that be important to the process, that it was a decision you made. Feels like this is taking you to the next level in some way. This can really be helping your expression. You may feel spontaneously more creative as well because of opening yourself up in this way. It's like, I'm hearing something about flights. It feels just like accessing different routes, sort of because of this thing that you're working on. This thing that you're working on over here, it feels like it's connected with you actually expressing yourself in the most like authentic of ways with the star here, and also healing something about like not using your voice. It's not using your voice. I'm seeing it specifically have to do with the throat chakra. And this can be like self-doubt. It can be like nobody wants to hear what I have to say. It can be like my words don't matter. It can be like somebody else is up there doing that, you know, like those types of things. Or just like, what difference is it going to make anyway? Just like all of the reasons why you might have for not showing up. But what I'm seeing happening here is that this is you, like, this is you showing up and in a different way. And because the star is here, this is like you're really on track here with this, like you're really in alignment with this. It's something that you're currently working on, and it's something that connects you with the Empress, and the Empress is your Venus energy, and that's like naturally what you have to share, and it's like your natural skills and abilities and naturally what you care about, and it has to do with your values and also like how you show up within the world. And it also has to do with your part as well, like what you sort of bring to the table as far as like the ways that you connect with like beauty and feminine energy, which all of us have masculine and feminine. I know I say it every time, but in case you haven't heard, all of us have masculine and feminine energy. The feminine is about like chaos and creativity, and it's about receptivity, and it's about like what one is feeling and sort of like how one organizes that and what they do with it, and also like what you have to then give, which taps into your masculine energy. It's a relationship between the two. Like one of them, they function together with one another, the masculine and the feminine energy. And what I'm seeing too is that like what you were doing before, you were tapping into your Venus energy, which again can have to do with like affinities that you have for certain things, like natural skill sets, like, oh, I've noticed that I'm just like naturally good at this thing. But I'm also seeing there be Eight of Pentacles shows you put work into this too. However, having the Death card here is like, we are going to revamp this in some type of way. The Death card is about like making it into the next best possible version of this thing. So even though you were tapping into this energy before and really getting a handle on something, you're taking it now to the next level. So that's what I'm seeing is going on here. I'm seeing this be super, super, super progressive. It's normal for you to feel sometimes like you have no idea what you're doing, or like you're out of step with the flow of things, because you're getting used to what it's like to clear your throat chakra. It's kind of like you're doing work right now. When you clear your throat chakra, it means that you're also able to like hear things in a different way. You're able to see things in a different way. You're able to understand things in a different way. It's also like throat chakra is connected with like being present too. So you could have felt like something was going on where you were not fully present, and this is going to like really bring you into the present moment, and you're really going to be able to like look around and see what's going on, and it's going to help you better like attune to a sort of like how you naturally are meant to be showing up, like what feels organic and authentic to you, because you feel like you have that sense of connection. It's like it's like just getting this plug in that you could feel wasn't active before, like wasn't being accessed before, and this is giving you it's like the wires on a TV, how some wires are connected with like the picture and some wires are connected with the sound of stuff. You could have felt like something wasn't plugged in, like things were functioning, but you could feel like this is really enhancing something. And so even though you could have looked at things and been like, this can work the way that it is, it feels like you're getting an additional like plug-in in some way. That's what I'm seeing. And this is going to be like part of a new chapter for you as well. So I'm seeing you just sort of like learning how to embrace that, and also like bring that into the balance of things for yourself. And so that's sort of the process that's happening right now. And I'm seeing like a lot of fruitful things are going to come of this. I'm seeing you also, for some of you, you feel like more connected with nature. It can be your own nature, it can be like nature outside, it can be wildlife, it can be like art, that type of thing. Get like this vibe of radiance coming off of you. I want to say this again, what you were doing before, you were definitely like in your zone, like on your path, all of that. This is just taking it to the next level is what I'm seeing. So this doesn't feel like something was really wrong and I'm addressing a huge problem. This feels like a significant tune-up. It feels like a very big upgrade that you're going through. So even though I'm not seeing this be like, and like, what's it matter anyway? But you know how you'll see readings and it'll be like, this is going to change your whole life. In some ways, this may really change your life. But what I'm seeing most of all is that I think a lot of things are going to be similar. There's just like an add-on to things now at this point. And you're going to feel like you have access to things in a different way than you had before. And all of it is going to feel like an enhancement. So it's going to feel more active, like more connections, more in touch, more of a sense of ability, knowing how to put this with this thing, like that type of stuff. I'm getting things about neural networks as well. It seems like this is also going to feel, maybe you felt like something was lacking a bit in reciprocity too, and that's also what this change was about. So it's going to make this feel like even more aligned with your values. Because it seems to, like in the last chapter, that's what you were working on. And now this is the chapter where you actually get to experience that more so. Some of you, there are other people that you work with too, is what I'm seeing. Whether this be like people within your working life, I'm hearing, or it can be people within your personal life. It can be both. It can also be your relationship with yourself. It could be your relationship with your guides. It can be all of the above. It can be some of the above. But I'm definitely having Six of Pentacles, come out, and having Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. This is something that you feel is more your speed, where you feel like there can even be like reception for what it is that you're producing and what it is that you're giving. So when you feel like you're showing up like this, which this is going to feel like you are most in alignment, because your Venus energy is, when you think about Venus, it's like what you appreciate and what you see as being beautiful, and also like your natural talents and stuff like that. When you show up aligned with that energy and empowered within that energy, and that's the type of vibe that you're giving off, having Six of Pentacles means that what you have to give, there's going to always be somebody or something on the receiving end that needs that thing. So it's going to feel reciprocal. And there can also be, it's not just going to be like I give and you receive. It's going to feel like a reciprocal type of relationship. So there can be all of that going around. So everybody can sort of be switching roles. And Nine of Cups is showing this be like a very ideal situation, a very ideal practice. Like this being the type of relationship that you want. And when I say relationship, I mean like you being involved with something else and there being an exchange that's going on between. It looks like there's going to be a specific conversation coming up about this / information that you're going to be receiving. It seems like you're going to get exactly what you need. So within this situation that's connected with the Three of Pentacles, where there's another or other energies that you're working with, I'm seeing that is going to clarify things for you. Very important things for you about this chapter. The part of you that's dealing with the part of you that is still opening your throat chakra, that's why at times you may feel like tired. You may feel like I'm maxed out with the energy for today. Why it can feel like you're still recovering at times from something. That's what I'm seeing be connected with this. All of this is going to be healed through this process. So this is not a way that you're going to stay feeling. For those of you that you still feel down sometimes, you still may be feeling depressed sometimes, you still may be feeling like whatever it is where you're like energetically you feel like you still need to catch your breath. This doesn't have to be like an all the time thing. It can just be like sometimes when I feel like the energy should be there because I'm doing everything that I need to be doing, why do I feel like I'm still not in this place, like mood-wise or energetically or whatever? And it's because of this, because you're currently in the process of healing your throat chakra and opening it up. So that's what that's about. After this cycle, this is going to be something that's cleared out. It's not going to be an energy that you're dealing with anymore because you basically like completed the cycle with that. But yeah, it's normal because there's a sense of recovering and because there's this extra output of energy because you're healing something. that's why, even if you're doing your regular stuff, why it may be feeling a bit more tiring, or you could feel a bit less motivated, like those sorts of things. It's like when somebody's healing from a sickness and they need to sleep more and they need to rest more and stuff like that. It's like that type of thing. But because it's happening like on this because it's like this spiritual, energetic level, you may be like I'm technically healthy, or this shouldn't technically be happening because I'm not putting my energy into things that, it's like kind of difficult. It can be kind of difficult to see where this is going energetically for you, and that's why this can be a little bit tricky. But being able to read it like this, I can see where the energy is going. This is kind of like, it feels like a scan in a way of what's happening. So because that energy is being used, it's why you don't have as much for the other stuff that you normally would. So know that if you're going through these bouts sometimes where you feel like you're getting tired faster, or you don't have as much energy, or you feel like desensitized, or you are feeling compassion fatigue, like whatever this is for you that has you feeling like that, I feel like the card, you can just like get the vibe off of the card of what this is. See this person kind of slumped over, like it doesn't look like they're bright and have a bunch of energy. They look tired. So it's just that vibe. And it's because of this healing specifically that's happening. But seeing the star, this is something that's going to be like fully healed. And so you're going to get that aspect of your energy back, and you're going to feel really recharged. So that's also what this chapter is about too. Just be patient with the process. Temperance is taking your time to recover. Look, healing. We have healing that's happening here, and to have temperance and to have Four of Cups, this is also healing. Be patient with this process. Things are coming together. Everything is falling into place exactly as it's meant to be. You don't need to be further than you are right now. You're exactly where you're supposed to be with this. Never too late, never too early. This connection is going to enhance. Some of you may be like, I'm not feeling it. Like this Ace of Cups is something that's going to come more and more into focus, but it's also being like counterbalanced by this thing going on with your throat chakra. So basically, what's a good example for this? Let's say that you have your hand under the faucet, and the faucet is your throat chakra, but right now, and I'm not saying it's been totally blocked, it's just blocked it has been like not functioning properly in a particular way. As your throat chakra is healing, and all of your energy is going into, a lot of your energy is going into this healing that's happening, and as the lever is being pulled, water doesn't like immediately be gushing out, and so you don't feel it immediately, like what's happening here. It's just really slowly the handle being pulled on it. And so at first it's like nothing is really coming out because like the water is building to come out, and then it's going to be like these teeny tiny little droplets, and then like over time it's going to be more and more and more. So this thing that you're connecting with, that is the Ace of Cups, that's this plug that's being plugged in here. Give this time. If you're like, why do I not know what this is, or why am I not feeling this? You could be feeling like you're getting a taste of this, or an idea of this, or like feeling the beginning of like buzzing, or this sense of connection. It's because it's being basically like turned on, especially after being turned off too. So it's like the dust has to come out and the air has to be cleared out, so like the water can then flow through. So just give this time. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. You are precisely on track. You don't need to question it. Look too how in these cards, you see how with temperance, and temperance is about being patient and taking your time and respecting the time that the process is going to take. See how there's this line that comes up, and that also connects with this. if you are patient with this process, you're going to go exactly like the star is like this North Star, and where you're going and what you're doing. Just this patience is going to lead exactly where you're meant to be going. So it's also about trusting the process too. Because when you're down here, you're not necessarily seeing like the height of this or the prime of this. But this is your guide saying that if you can stick this out, if you're willing to stick this out and be patient with the process, like this is what it's turning into. The star is like your hopes and your dreams and your wishes and your dharmic path and like your the stuff that is destined, all of that. The biggest, most important things. And the thing with the star too is that these are like these very, very big, important things that also take time to develop because they're complicated. And so it also takes that time. So just keep sticking with this. And be patient with yourself. Because a lot is happening. A lot is happening below the surface. A lot is happening at an astral level. Okay, so what I was just saying about these bigger things that you want and that you hope for, the stuff that's connected with the star, we have 9 of Cups, which is the card of wish fulfillment. So this just feels like this thing that you're connecting with right now, with the Ace of Cups, it's one of these. So this is like a very significant wish fulfillment that you are connecting with. 9 of Cups is stuff that, like, on a very deep level you care about. So this isn't just, like, something that's going to, like, come today and be gone tomorrow and it's not going to hold that much meaning for you. This is something that will hold deep, deep, deep significance for you, and it's something that will stay with you as well. So this is something that's going to have, like, a very huge impact for you on your life in this way. Cumulatively, you've been working on this for quite some time. I'm seeing this has been a long, long journey that you've been on. And you are very soon to be seeing some significant results. Significant meaning it's going to be intelligible, like you're going to actually be able to notice, to see that this is plugged in. So I feel like it's one of those moments where, like, when you're able to pick up on this, like when you're able to see what's going on, it's going to be one of those moments that feels like really gratifying. It's one of those moments where it's going to, like, strengthen your faith and your trust and your belief, like that type of thing. All right, I'm looking at Aquarius, I'm looking at Sagittarius, and I'm looking at Scorpio and Venus. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. The name Tom is coming through, T-O-M, the name, the word. Can also be initials, I suppose, as well. I want to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.